Let me tell you about my good friends at Matrix Home Solutions. They are a brand new sponsor of the show. And when it comes to top quality home improvement projects, no other company comes close to Matrix. They focus on 4 major areas to increase the value of your home and improve your lifestyle: basement remodeling, bathroom transformations, custom garage flooring and storage, and energy-saving solar solutions. Now is the perfect time to contact my friends at Matrix to discuss ideas and plans for your home. Matrix is the premier choice for renovation services. They deliver an exceptional, professional, and hassle-free experience. Go to matrixhomesolutions.com to view project photo galleries, special financing options, and more. That's matrixhomesolutions.com. Tell them John Anthony sent you for exclusive savings, and thank them for sponsoring my show. matrixhomesolutions.com.
Don't miss the flooring sale of the century. Century Tile and Carpet's retirement liquidation sale. Save up to 75% on ceramic tile, carpet, stone, luxury vinyl, and laminates at the last 3 Chicagoland Century Tile and Carpet stores. Also, great deals on tools, store fixtures, forklifts, pallet racking. And did they say tools? They're selling to the bare walls. Get details on Century Tile and Carpet's retirement liquidation sale at centurytilesale.com. 3 remaining locations: Cicero Avenue, Mount Prospect, and Lombard. Hurry in to get the best selection.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-555-2085. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-555-2085. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-555-2085. 800-555-2085.
AM 560, The Answer. Prepare to have your mind opened. The lies of the mainstream media are about to be exposed, and the hypocrisy of the left is about to be revealed. This is a revolution in how you think about politics, race, and culture. You've tuned into Black and Right with John Anthony on AM 560, The Answer.
I'm coming in hot. Coming in hot, just like the fajita. I write what I live, my life in the speaker. I'm nice with the flow, just like the demeanor. I'm feeding my fam.
Welcome to this week's edition of Black and Right Radio on AM 560 The Answer. I'm John Anthony, host of the show, coming in hot. It's probably going to get really explosive in this studio today because I don't know if you guys saw the video that I posted prior to the show starting. I have 2 people in here who are 2 of the biggest troublemakers in Republican circles. But I love them.
Yeah, well, why we gotta be troublemakers and laughing at it?
Because it's a good trouble though that y'all cause. It's because you keep people honest in politics on both sides of the aisle. And those 2 people today are Babette Holder and Raquel Mitchell. Welcome back to Black and Right.
Hey.
Babette, Raquel, it's been a long time since you've come,
I know. Oh, my gosh.
You've been running politics and running boards.
I've been a busy chicken,
why
but I'm here.
Why don't you tell the people why you've been busy? What's new with Raquel Mitchell?
Oh, my gosh. Well, to those who do not know, I got elected to county board in my county. That's one of the things. I'm also chairman of the Republican Party in my area as well. And so, those are 2 of the things that take up a lot of my time. So that's why you haven't seen me for a while. But I try to get out a little bit, and then,
And
cause
you were
some trouble
running
when I can.
campaigns too, right?
And by the way, yes, running campaigns. I forgot all about that with the pandemic. I'm like, oh, what is it? What is it that I do again?
Yeah. Babette, I thought that she just didn't love me anymore. That's what I thought.
Well, Raquel was one of my campaign managers.
Yeah.
So yes, folks, I did get the. Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you make your phone calls? I'm over there lying too. Yes. I'm like, it's a pandemic. We're supposed to be off.
You said pandemic or pandemic? I'm sorry.
Right.
But I think it's going to be a really good show. One of the things that we're going to be talking about later today, we're going to have a fellow from the Manhattan Institute joining us to discuss critical race theory and what they're doing. They're going to be doing something specific to help parents understand it and combat some of the issues or challenges that critical race theory has posed in the last couple of days. But I want to get started right away about, where everybody's all excited and, you see all these conversations being had about Juneteenth. Now, Babette, you're part of the Frederick Douglass Foundation of Illinois. You've been putting on Juneteenth events for, how many years now?
Well, I put on 3. One was really small. The last one was really large. I think we had over 300 people at an American Legion in DuPage County. A lot of help with that, a lot of organizations, especially West Suburban Patriots then, Carol Davis's group, American Majority, AFP. And speakers came from out of state. I had a young millennial who was the face just recently of Black Voices for Trump. She came from St. Louis, Cecilia Johnson to speak. I had Mason Weaver. Yeah, it was a great event. And really, I hosted Juneteenth because the only ones doing it, if anyone had anything, was the DuSable Museum or maybe someone, the on the left, the Democrats. And it's all about liberty and freedom. What a great opportunity. And Raquel's part of Frederick Douglass Foundation. Yeah. She's part of planning that, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think you see a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people understand what Juneteenth is. Who wants to actually explain what it is? Because, what I keep saying, what I'm seeing from especially this Biden administration, is they continue to feed crumbs off the table.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, we got a Juneteenth holiday. Great, awesome. But is that enough, Raquel?
No. Okay, so short answer, no, it is not enough. No, we're not here to make make the Democrats feel better about about the atrocities they've committed. I actually think that Juneteenth has some significance, and when Babette and I back in the day, we used to run Juneteenth events and be a part of Juneteenth events. They were really all about Black achievement, these events, right?
Amen.
And it was about unity, and we all came together, and we kind of celebrated, our freedom and our history and how far we've come and all kinds of things. Now it's definitely been bastardized. It's definitely been changed into something completely different than how this ever began. And it's worse now, I think. Yeah. I think nobody's celebrating achievement. They're celebrating scoring political points.
Yeah.
No one's talking about freedom and liberty. And by the way, that's how it started. Juneteenth was when General Granger rode, with the Union soldiers, rode out to let the slave owners and the slaves know that they were free. Now, mind you, this is 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There were no telephones back then. There was no
horse and buggy.
Right. Right. And you had some that just were not complying with the law of the land at the time.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why I was held, because if you read the history, and this, by the way, it started in Galveston, Texas. Mm-hmm. This is the history of Juneteenth. Why not have an opportunity to talk about liberty and freedom? Now, do I agree with it becoming a paid holiday for public workers?
Yeah.
No.
Well, right now it's just for federal workers, but the state of Illinois did make
the state of Illinois is what I'm talking about.
Too,
like they need another holiday with some pay.
Yeah. Well, I saw 44 now. That's 44 now paid holidays or something like that.
Yeah,
in federal government.
So this is what we're up to now. We're also at the same time we have Juneteenth and paid holidays. We also are coming up on inflation, and soon to follow that will be joblessness. So now we have a day off for a job we may not have.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I know that a lot of black people in out there will say we're the last ones hired and the first ones fired.
Yeah.
Well, guess who's not going to be able to celebrate that Juneteenth if
that what they're saying.
Right. With this administration in office.
Yeah.
It means a whole lot more.
Yeah.
We could have gotten a whole lot more. By the way, how long has it been that President Biden has been in office, and has he met with Ice Cube yet? Because there are some things that we were supposed to get as black people, and it certainly wasn't a Juneteenth day off.
Like the Platinum Plan. You're talking
right.
about Trump
Now, my understanding that this was in the Platinum Plan, but there was so much.
Yeah.
And so many things that were...
$500 billion plan.
Exactly.
To invest in the black community.
These are the kinds of things that we should be fighting for.
Yeah.
Who asked for this?
Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. You know what? But when I think of Juneteenth, now I'm going to go to the political angle. What a great way to remind people. And Raquel, you made this post. I was talking to a friend of mine about it because they were white. They wanted to understand what it was all about. And when you made that post, I actually shared it on TikTok. Don't forget, Republicans did this. You know what? Republicans, this is why I think there's a flip side of Juneteenth that you can also discuss. The Republican Party has always been the party of liberty and freedom. So much freedom.
Which is why I felt that, with the division, John, you bring up a good point. We got conservatives and Republicans are all in one, fighting each other over this Juneteenth. And repeat what you just said, the party of what?
Liberty and freedom. We've always been that party, and I those are some things that we can focus on, even as conservatives. I've even had I've heard white people say, well, why we always got to talk about white and black and all that? Well, because some people care about that.
Right.
So I don't have a problem when somebody wants to identify with who they are. I don't have, my problem is when you stay there and make it define who you are.
Exactly.
My blackness doesn't define who I am. It doesn't define I will never allow anybody to define me as just a black man.
Right. And you shouldn't be.
Right. But that's what I'm going to steal a word from Dan, identitarians do. They define you based upon your skin color, and everything is based upon what color you are. I won't let nobody do that. I don't care if you're a Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal. I'm not letting you do that to me. What say you?
Well, I'm going to say this. I was in our meeting, in one of our public board meetings the other day, there was a mention of Juneteenth and kind of observing that day. And noticeably, all of the black people on the board were quiet about Juneteenth, or they weren't the first ones to mention it, to jump on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is purely virtue signaling.
Yeah.
On the left.
Of course, what they do.
And I just want to let you know that this is not what this is about.
Yeah.
This is not something.
Guys, we're going to continue this discussion when we return. You listen to The Black and White on AM 560 The Answer. I'm your host, John Anthony. We'll be right back.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
Right now, the bet is $100 that Governor Pritzker will not run again. She doesn't think he will run again. I know he is going to run again. She would like to make that $100,000 based on late-breaking information she has.